alcoholism, a stroke, federal prison, one man's story of how he's recovered.
You set me free, so I'll shake off these heavy chains and wipe away every stain. That I'm not who I used to be. I am redeemed.
It is the second day of December in the Lord's year 2013. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and this is Powell CDC's Recovery Monday program. First show in the new month of December. Lila Stafford, a certified, committed counselor at Powell CDC, joins us as always, along with Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat. And for those of you that don't know, Bob is not just a radio star. You're a forensic scientist.
That is correct.
And you work at the state lab, and your specialty is alcohol.
That's correct.
What alcohol does to the body, how it impacts you.
Yes. Pharmacology, what it does within your body, how much you drink to get to a certain level, how much your body metabolizes, burns off alcohol.
Do you ever do autopsies?
Well, I don't personally do them, but I've attended.
You attended them?
I attend. Yes. Yes. And you see livers that have been destroyed by alcoholism, cirrhosis, lungs that have been destroyed by smoking, that should have a deep, red color and they're black, or the livers that should be a deep red color and they are orange.
Orange?
Orange, because
Really?
they are destroyed.
Wow.
Right,
Wow.
because alcohol in excess will destroy the liver.
Doesn't the
Absolutely.
liver rejuvenate itself, though?
Well, it can to a certain point, but then there gets to a point where it dies. And
Okay.
you can live on a small portion of your liver.
Okay.
But some people drink so much that it just destroys the entire liver, and then you need a transplant or you die. Because that gets rid of toxic substances. Alcohol is considered a toxic substance to your body.
Wow. Why did we ever invent it?
I didn't invent it, but maybe you did.
No, I
I'm just
didn't
saying,
invent
it's just a natural, fermentation, and they just discovered it. And then when they discovered that, they liked it, they liked the smell, they liked the taste, they liked how it changed their mind, altered their minds. Well, then they decided, hey, let's make this stuff and profit from it.
So
It's really sad. I know someone that just died from not getting a liver transplant. And it was so sad because he really had changed his ways and was working a really good program, was sober, but couldn't get
Too late.
yeah.
Do you think there is bias or malice if your liver has been destroyed by your own doing and you're in line?
Well, I think the people that haven't done that probably get first choice.
Yeah.
That would,
Yeah. All right. All right, I want you to meet my guest today. Tim Friend and his son Justin are here, and we're going to talk to Tim up front, and then Justin's going to join us a little bit later. Tim, how are you today?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
How old are you?
I am 53 years old.
53. All right. And Justin, just for the record, how old are you?
I'm 26.
26. Okay. So you're half your dad's age. Yeah. All right. So, Tim, where's home? Is this Des Moines home?
Yeah, West Des Moines is my home.
All right.
Valley Junction area.
Okay. You graduated from Valley High?
No, I graduated from Dowling High
Dowling. Oh.
in 1978.
All right. So you're a 1978 graduate of Dowling. And then did you go on to college?
No, I went to federal prison.
I didn't know that was an elective
Yeah,
after
well,
high school.
It was a bad choice that I made. I was involved in burglarizing several pharmacies in the Des Moines area and also banks. And I got busted by the feds, and I spent from 1979 until 1983 in federal prison.
Was that to get drug money or
Drug
just to get money?
Money and drug money. And
Yeah.
Well, let's back up. So what was your drug of choice? Was it alcohol? Was it drugs? Was it all
it
of
was
the above?
marijuana.
Marijuana. And but did you also use alcohol?
A little bit.
But that's not
much.
an issue.
No.
Okay. And when did you start smoking marijuana?
About I was 14 years old.
Okay. And what tell me about how it started.
I always felt socially awkward, especially with girls and things. And I was extremely thin growing up, and I had broken out my 2 front teeth, so I had 2 stainless steel chiclets for my front teeth.
Okay.
You know, growing up, you know, and I always felt out of place and awkward, and they never fit quite in. Then when I smoked pot, then I found, you know, I thought I was more comfortable in my own skin at that time.
And were you more comfortable around the other people that smoked pot with you?
Yes.
Okay. And so, age 14, did your mom and dad know? Did they think they knew? Did you think they didn't know?
Well, my grandparents. I was raised by my grandparents. My mother and father divorced, and I went to with my 2 siblings to go with my grandmother to live, and they were very kind to me, and I was kind of behind their back. And,
Okay.
You know, sneaking around.
Sure, like every kid does.
Yes.
Now, do you have any contact with your mom and dad now?
Oh yes.
Okay, are they here in town?
Yes.
Okay. And they're not together, obviously.
No. Well, my father's deceased, but my mother lives like 2 blocks away from me in West Des
Oh, good.
Moines.
Okay, good. All right. So did you get in any trouble in high school?
No, but I can remember getting high a lot.
Okay.
I was a goody two shoes, you know, outwardly appearing, but then I was always sneaking around, stealing and things behind people's back.
And that's how you got the money to buy the drugs.
Yes.
And like, what kinds of things would you steal?
Just
I mean, it had to be things you could sell.
just stuff, you know, tools, and I just steal money too from my grandparents.
Okay.
And I worked a job as a janitor for several years when I was going through high school, so I had money.
So you also made some money.
Yes.
All right.
It wasn't until my criminal activity really took off after I got out of high school.
All right. And that was, was it you and you alone, or were you a part of a gang? Or
I was
a
part
group?
of a group of people.
Okay, but you didn't call it a gang?
Well, I was the one adult in the gang of people. The rest were juveniles.
Okay.
I was 17 years old.
So you were the oldest
I was
one.
18, yes.
And you guys would burglarize, what you say, banks?
Yes.
Tell me how that, you rob a bank.
Well, just at night we'd break in.
Oh,
Because this is back 1979 or 1978 and 1979 before they had the elaborate alarms they have today, you know.
So
We'd
you could just
go in there and we'd open the teller drawers and hit the change machine counters, and I know by the time when I went to federal prison, I was convicted of stealing over $250,000 worth of money and like government bonds and travelers checks and things like that.
God, this is so weird because you do not you are not my vision of somebody that does that.
well,
at all.
he isn't that way anymore.
I know.
This was someone
It's
from
just
his
shocking
past.
to find this out.
And so were you the gang leader?
Yes, I was.
So they probably came down on you a little heavier.
Yes.
So what'd you do with $250,000 in 1 year?
Blew
Bought
it.
drugs?
Partying.
Okay.
I never was very popular, but then when I had money and drugs, I became very popular.
All right, I see.
And we would have parties all the time.
At your grandma's?
No, under the bridge at 63rd Street. On
53rd under the
63rd Street.
63rd under the bridge.
Under the River Bridge.
The 230 No, not the 235.
The River Bridge.
Oh,
out,
okay.
Out in West Des Moines.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, wow. Okay.
And we'd party at the parks and stuff like that around West Des Moines. I've been well known to the West Des Moines police, unfortunately, for my entire life.
Well, that's okay, but they know you for a good reason now, I'm sure.
Yes, they do.
All right, so you went to federal prison in 79 to 83. Where'd you go?
I went to I did a 90-day study and observation in Inglewood, Colorado. While in transit to the federal prison, I was sexually assaulted in a county jail in Kansas City, which gave me a bad attitude towards people for a lot of years.
Well, I can understand.
I went
that.
into federal prison weighing 135, and I came out weighing 195, and I let that dictate, people getting close to me for a lot of years and things like that. But there was just something that happened, and it's something that I really didn't start recovering from until I had to tell about it in my small group.
Sure, for 30 years later, whatever it was.
Yeah.
All right, so you get out of federal prison in 83. Where do you go then? Come back home?
I came back home and got a job at the West Des Moines Human Services. You know, I was given a second chance.
Good.
That lasted for 7-8 years, and then I started breaking into construction trailers and stealing tools. Got back into drugs, and then I started drinking a little bit at that time,
Okay.
and went back to jail.
Local or federal prison?
No, it was Newton.
Newton.
I went to
Okay.
Newton for about 6 months, and then I got a special probation after that.
Why? Were you a good model prisoner?
Yes, I had people on the outside. I used to have a lawn company where I know I had a lot of people that were influential in the neighborhood, in the neighborhood,
Oh, yeah.
in West Des Moines, and they put a good word in for me, and I got out.
All right, so my guess is it's now about 1991.
Yes.
Okay. And when you got out, did you have an opportunity to be clean then again and clean and sober?
Oh, yes, because I was on parole, and it seemed like I've been on probation or parole or in jail for 35 years, basically. And it wasn't, I always felt that when I'd quit, I'd quit doing the drinking and drugging while I was on paper. Then when I got done with the paper, I'd be free to go out and do what I wanted to do again.
Right.
To me, that was freedom. Today, I realize that the true freedom comes from being free from the obsession to drink and drug.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. It's hard to tell people about that, but that's true freedom is that, because I was a prisoner to my addiction for 35 years or longer.
So 91 was not the end.
No, that was when I cross-addicted from marijuana to crack cocaine.
My, oh my. And you continued to rob to create
Yeah.
money?
Yes, borrow money, beg money, just whatever I could do.
Now, were you running around with the same friends that you
No.
always had? Or you just found some new ones that did
Yes,
drugs?
Yes, found some new ones that did drugs.
Okay.
Did you go to nightclubs or bars or?
No, it was just most times drove around by myself smoking crack. And then I went to Powell CDC, I think about 1992, and got off the crack and cross-addicted to alcohol because it was legal.
Yeah, you wouldn't
have
be
any.
in
I
trouble.
wouldn't have any problems with that,
But didn't you hear when you were in treatment that you were supposed to be clean of everything?
Oh, yes. And I even heard in one of the 12-step meetings that be careful because alcohol is a drug and be careful about that.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen. I didn't pay heed to it.
Yeah.
So in 92, you went into Powell. And how long did you stay clean? Were you court ordered to Powell or did you go?
I was court ordered.
All right, so you didn't really take it seriously.
Oh, no.
Thought it was a joke.
Yeah, I like it was part of the 35 years of drinking and drug, and I just quit long enough to get off paper.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know the feeling. All right. All right, let's take our first break here in just a couple minutes. Our guest today is Tim Friend, currently 53 years old, and what you haven't heard yet is what the amazing part is. What you've heard, you may be able to relate to. You may resemble that remark. You may not be able to fathom anything like that. In fact, you think that's just an impossible story. It doesn't really happen to people. But that's why we do this show. We bring these people on so you can meet the people, the souls, the saints that God has chosen to save, and people like Lila and Kim and David and everybody up at Powell CDC has a very special place in their heart for them because they have been a part of their rescue, their redemption. We're coming back, and a little later we're going to talk to Tim's son, Justin, and find out what life was like for him with a dad like that. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. I love this job. Couldn't do it without you. Right here on 99.3 KTIA, powered by WebcastOneLive.com.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Get away from us, you mean old credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit! You're our hero!
If you choose to obey the power of sin, it leads to death. If you choose to obey obedience, it leads to righteousness.
Forgiveness is just the beginning of life in Christ. God wants us to live for Him now.
And because of Jesus Christ, the gospel was preached, and you and I are blessed today because of Abraham. Did you know that? We're blessed.
Experience Truth, 99.3 FM.
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Okay, we're back. Second day of December in the Lord's year 2013. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and this is Recovery Monday from Powell CDC. Lila Stafford in the house, as well as Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat. And, of course, we're being produced by the incredible Reverend Ryan today, and we thank Ryan for doing such a good job. We're talking with Tim Friend, a 1978 graduate of Dowling High School. He spent most of his high school years stoned on marijuana, and then to pay for his habit, he began to rob and steal and went to federal prison in 79 to 83. Got out, and from 83 to 91, you did pretty good. I mean, you stayed out of jail, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
And how did you pay for your? I mean, were you back drinking and drugging at that point, or just drugging?
Just slowly got back into it.
Okay. And what were you doing? You said you worked for Human Services.
Yes.
Okay. And then in 91, you decided to go back out again, or you went to prison again over in Newton?
Yes.
And then you got out, and you went to Powell because the judge made you go to Powell. And Lila, that's the thing that frustrates me the most, is when I'm in a meeting and I've got some people in there that are on paper. Mm-hmm. Because they're not serious about it.
Right.
How do you deal with that? I think you just slap them silly.
Well, Powell doesn't accept those anymore, but we do get people that there are other places in Des Moines that will take them. But the way I deal with it is if I'm just hopeful that they can get some message. And and if they just get one little message, it may not be one little message, and then they'll go back out and use, and they'll remember what they heard in these meetings, and it'll just take a few times. They'll be back.
Yeah.
They'll either be back or they'll be dead, one of the two.
And so when we're at 1992, you got out of Powell, you finally got off paper. Did you continue drugging and drinking?
Yes.
And how did you pay for it?
Just worked. Became a workaholic.
Okay, but you stopped stealing and that kind of thing?
Well, I never stopped stealing. I went to shoplifting and things like that.
Okay. And then you'd sell the things you shoplifted?
Yes.
To make money? So let's jump ahead here. When did life catch up with you? When did the Holy Spirit come and the hound of heaven bit you?
Okay, that would be December 27th, 2010.
December 27th, 10, okay?
The day started off like any other. I was on intensive pretrial release for a possession of marijuana charge. It was about a quarter gram of pot, but it's my third offense, and so it was a Class D felony. So anyone who's young, I know you youngsters out there are thinking, you can't wait till pot gets legal in this town. Well, it's not legal now, and until it is, they can stack those possession charges up there. Your first one's a simple misdemeanor, your second one's an aggravated misdemeanor, your third one's a felony. And I was facing 5 years, and part of the conditions of my pretrial release that I was on was I couldn't drink or smoke any pot.
Okay.
I chose to keep drinking.
All right, but you weren't smoking.
No, I was not smoking.
But you kept drinking.
So on December 27th, 2010, I was on color code red for the intensive pretrial release. And, code red's not a good color to be on. And so I knew the previous day I had to go drop a UA down at the probation office at 8 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, a UA is a urine analysis. Go ahead.
Okay, and they, I blew dirty down there, and
which means they found traces of.
No, I blew dirty. They had me blow into a machine, and they said that I had blown dirty.
So you had alcohol in your system.
Yes.
Okay.
And so they had me sit on this bench and wait for my pre-trial officer to come talk to me, violate me, and put me in jail. And I would sit on this bench, and then I fell off this bench. And I was thinking to myself, great, now they think I am drunk. But I couldn't get up off the bench. I couldn't get off the floor to get on the bench again.
And you weren't drunk?
And I was not drunk. And so the staff there, the ladies behind the glass there, told me to lay down, and they called the ambulance.
What were you feeling other than you couldn't?
I had a killer headache, and I could have. I don't know. I felt it. Just I couldn't
you
think
weren't
straight.
feeling pain, or
I was
you were
feeling a terrible headache,
Okay.
and just half of me was numb.
Okay.
But anyone who knows, I had a right brain stroke, which paralyzed the left side of my body.
Okay. Well, I don't know anything about stroke, but that's usually how it happens, right? The right part of the brain has a stroke which paralyzes the left side?
Yes.
Aren't there more left side paralyzations than the right side?
Yes.
And why is that?
It's a blood vessel that goes through the
Oh.
major blood vessel that goes through the brain there.
All right. And so they rushed you to the hospital.
Yes.
And
well, they did a CAT scan in the ambulance and told me that my brain was in a pool of blood. And I did not know what that meant, I thought my whole body's in a pool of blood,
Yeah.
But obviously it's not a good thing when your brain tissue is exposed to blood. I guess blood's toxic to brain tissue in some way or another. But anyway, it was bad. So they told my kids I had a 50-50 chance of making it through the night. And I pulled through. And at this point, I couldn't even sit up in a wheelchair. I was pooping and peeing my pants. They had me in a pair of Depends. I was totally paralyzed on my left side. I couldn't feel anything on my left side of my body. And I didn't know what to think, But I'm
Could you
involved.
speak? Could you talk?
Yes, I can still talk.
Mm-hmm.
More times if your stroke's on the left side, then it affects your speech more. So I was fortunate for there. In fact, people commented that I could talk better after my stroke than before my stroke.
Well, it's because you were sober.
Yeah, I was stuttering.
You know?
Yeah. So a couple days after I was on paper signers like Mac was talking about, and I had a group I was going to, for a 12-step group I was going to, and I was at Mercy Hospital, and 3 girls from this group come up there, and they put their arms around me, told me they loved me and I'd be okay. At this point, I was, wearing a diaper, messing my pants, I was totally paralyzed, did not know what was going to happen to me from then on, and so I prayed the first prayers I prayed in my life, really, and meant anything to me. And I prayed, what to believe, God? I don't know. Guide me. I prayed to guide me. And this journey that when I opened the door up a little bit and said that prayer, the door started opening up for me. And then, I'm just blessed to be to have had this obsession to drink and drug removed.
Now, who were the 3 girls?
They were Debbie.
No, but I mean, where did they come from?
They came from my home group.
I see. The group that you were going to. Okay. All right. And so you were removed of the desire and the obsession to drink and drug.
At that time.
And it's never returned to you?
No.
And we're at, my golly, we're almost 3 years here in a couple weeks. But how were you physically?
I was still partially paralyzed. So I went through 3 weeks of rehab at Mercy, and then another 6 weeks of rehabilitation at a place down in Ankeny called On With Life.
Yeah.
It's the Brain Injury Rehabilitation Center, and they taught me how to walk and eat and swallow, and because your mind does not work right for a while after a stroke, My memory is very poor, and
is it still very poor?
Yeah, it's not that good.
You can't remember. Do you have long-term or short-term loss?
Short-term loss.
Short-term, but so you can remember. Can you remember the day that Justin was born?
Yes.
Okay, but you can't remember so much what you had for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about. You feel that you had a spiritual awakening.
Yes, I have.
Okay, and was it that December 20, or was it 3 or 4 or 5 days after the December 27th stroke?
No, it's been a gradual process. Because like I said, I prayed to God what to bleep. I don't know what to bleep to do next. Guide me. And soon He guided me to, after I've been in recovery, and recover from the stroke, then I was able to come home. Which all I want to do is come home. All I want to do is be able to walk and things like that. But just like the humans, when I got to learn how to walk again, that wasn't enough. I want to do this, I want to just be things like it was minus the drinking part.
And when you say come home, who was home with you?
I live by myself.
All right. So were you married at one point?
I was married twice.
Twice, okay. And you have 2 children?
Yes.
And Justin's here with us. He's going to join us in a minute. And then you have another son who just got back from Afghanistan.
Yes.
Are they both from the same mother?
Yes.
Okay. And did you lose those marriages because of your drug and alcohol?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. All right. They were, they're, I never know how to ask this. The women were good people. You messed it up. Or were they not so good too?
I harmed them. I harmed them.
Okay.
And, probably permanently scarred them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Do you have a relationship with them today?
I talk to my ex-wife,
Every once in a while?
Yeah.
Both of them or just one of them?
Just one of them.
The other one won't talk to you?
The other one, she just left. I don't know where she went. She took off.
Oh, okay.
We were only married a couple months.
Oh, okay. So the mother of your boys is the one you talk to?
Yes.
All right. All right, we're going to take a break, and these gentlemen are going to switch seats. So when we come back, we're going We're going to hear from Justin. He's 26 years old. He's half his dad's age. And how his father's, Tim's, drugging and drinking impacted him growing up and what it was like. And remember, we don't tell these stories. Well, we know why we tell these stories. Do you know why we tell these stories? You may be sitting at home going, Mac, you're embarrassing Tim. Now you're going to embarrass him more by having his son come on. No. It's therapeutic for these guys to tell their story. Their hope is that there's somebody out there that's listening. There's a dad out there listening right now who's had a real hard time listening to Tim. If you got the guts, Dad, and I'm kind of challenging you here, stay on. Because in a minute, I'm going to tell you what your kids are thinking. And if that doesn't get you to put the plug in the jug or drop the crack pipe or whatever it is you're doing, then maybe nothing will. Maybe you just have to hit a lower bottom than that. But that's why we do these programs. Recovery Monday brought to you by the good folks down at Powell CDC. Bob Montserrat, the Cat in the Hat, watching the chat for us today, and Lila Stafford, one of the certified counselors down at Powell CDC, and Ryan, that good man, he's producing for us today. I do want to invite you to a show tomorrow. Bill Brown is going to be here, and Billy is a guy that runs one of the Iowa clinics. And he's going to talk about Obamacare and what impact it will have on, I'm sorry, for you liberals, the Affordable Care Act, excuse me. And we're going to talk about how that's impacting that industry. And then a young man by the name of Caleb Rooney, who has developed a product to help healthcare systems deal with the Affordable Health Care Act and try to figure that out. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. I love this job. I couldn't do it without you. Right here on KTIA, Iowa.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershide.
I'm administrative manager.
I am the senior technician
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
You know, if we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, you know, we want to show the world that you can have a good service.
Yeah, I mean, it's your home.
You know, it's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're gonna do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's gonna be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're gonna do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we'd fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
I mean, if you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you gonna say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're gonna be listening. They're gonna wanna know what your challenges are. Then they're gonna come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you know, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? I mean, you can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me, but is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going though. I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm gonna take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right or it's free or 100% money back.
Enough said.
22 minutes before the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News at 4, and then at 4:03, it's Pastor Michael Mudloff with True Blue. That's coming up here this afternoon on a Monday, the 2nd day of December in 2013. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Thanks for listening. I know you got a lot of choices of things you can listen to live in the afternoon and on television and everything, and for some reason you're here, so I appreciate that. And if you're listening or watching this on podcast, thank you even more. This program will be available on Lila's page on Facebook, as well as on our website at Webcast One, WEBCASTONE, or the number 1. We got them both, thanks to Ryan. WebcastOneLive.com. And just click on go to shows, click on Recovery Monday, and the latest show will be there minutes after we get done. Our purpose in this show is to tell people's story. There's nothing more powerful than one to tell his own story, his or her story. And we talk about recovery because, well, it's really easy. I remember sitting in church one day, and my pastor said, you guys in that row of 10, the first 2 of you are probably alcoholics. The second of you does drugs. The third and fourth are probably into gambling. The fifth is pornography. The 6th and 7th are probably having adulterous thoughts or affairs, and the last 2 of you may be normal if you're lucky. And I realized that most people are dysfunctional. And those people that seem okay are probably the most dysfunctional of all. It's those of us, and I'm humbled to put myself in that group some of the time, not all of the time. I crawl back into my shell every once in a while and put my fronts up and let my character defects control the conversation. But for those of us who have learned to be comfortable in our own skin, to be transparent in our lives, which means that it's not that we don't do anything wrong, it's that we now have the tools to stop ourselves from doing things that are wrong. And we don't get offended easily, and we allow other people to have emotions that we used to, well, they used to haunt us. They used to baffle us. And we might push back, and we would destroy relationships because of fear. And at the heart of fear, of course, is that incredible feeling of not being good enough. And so we do this show to help people understand in all areas of families of not only you're just like everybody else, but Powell CDC steps in and says, there's help. But there's help. And if you hear something on this program that sounds too familiar to something in your family or in your church or in your small group or at work, call Lila. Call Lila at Powell CDC, Lutheran Hospital, and just say, I don't want to give you my name right now, and I don't want anybody coming over in white coats, because we don't do that anyway. But I just want to talk, because I heard this show that you were on, and I just need to share, and I just need to talk. And Lila's an exceptional listener, as well as so many other counselors. How's Dee doing?
She's doing great.
You got to bring her back. I miss that little runt.
Actually, maybe she'll come back when I go to Florida.
When do you go to Florida?
Mm-hmm. In a couple weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Make sure that I'd like to have her back. And Annie. You always bring in good people.
Okay.
Okay. So for the last half hour, we've been talking to Tim Friend, a 1978 graduate of Dowling High School, then entered the federal prison system in 79 for all kinds of things. Stealing, lying, cheating, and stealing. And it was all to support a drug habit. He didn't want to live like a king. He just wanted to live outside of his own mind. And from 1979 to 2010, he was a prisoner. He was a prisoner of the accuser. He was a prisoner of drugs. He was a prisoner of alcohol. And during this whole period of time, he's also raising a family. And his oldest son, Justin, is here with us today. Justin is 26. Justin, thanks for coming in here today. Is there anything you heard your dad talk about in the last half hour that blew your mind that you hadn't heard before?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like he got
molested?
Sexually, yeah.
You didn't know that before
No, I
today?
did not know that.
Does that help understand a few things, maybe?
Yeah.
So, how often did you live with your father?
I really can't quite remember.
Not much?
Not much.
Okay.
Because my mom, she raised me when he was in prison.
Yeah.
For most of my life.
And when you're at school, what school did you go to? Did you go to Valley?
Yeah,
Okay.
I went to Valley.
And Merrill Middle?
No.
No, what?
I went to Westridge, and then I went to Stillwell.
Okay, so you're there, and it's Dad's day to come, and your dad can't come. Do the kids know why he can't come?
No.
No. What did you say?
I don't remember
But
what I said.
you never told people your dad was in prison.
No.
That was hard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, not only not having
Because you see all these other kids that got to bring their dads on Dad's Day, and then it's like, my dad's in jail, you know.
But you don't say that.
No.
And what did your mother tell people that he was?
That, oh, he's a drug addict, you know, and he's no good, and he's PS, you know, and all this stuff. You know, to this day, she still talks bad about him.
So how does that impact you?
It hurts me to hear her say them things, you know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, here he's trying to do the best and provide for his family and stuff.
Yeah, and I just want to break right there for a second, and I'm going to look right at you, and I want you, if you're listening, to put your ear real close to the radio. If you come from a broken family, or if you're in the middle of a broken family, and yes, that's the right word, it's broken, don't talk bad about your spouse, because the spouse doesn't suffer. The kid does. When you as a mother or father put your child in between the argument, disagreement, and failed marriage that you and your spouse had, you're making him the victim or her the victim, not the other spouse. Please, please be a better person than that for the sake of your children. And if you can't, then you're a lousy parent. I don't care how bad your spouse was. Your child does not need to hear constantly how bad the choice you made in a spouse was. Because remember, it's your fault. You married him. Sorry if I'm a little harsh, but I am the victim of people that don't get along and put kids in the middle, and it sucks. So don't do it. Did you ever get to go see your dad?
Yeah, like, I remember one time when he got his last OWI, me, my brother, and our friend Chrissy, we all drove down to see him when he was in prison, when he was in jail.
In Newton?
No, he was in Bethany, Missouri.
Okay, all right. And how did that make you feel? You know, were you sitting across the glass, or were you sitting in a room?
Across the glass.
Glass, okay. How'd that make you feel?
Well, I had a lot of mixed feelings because my girlfriend at the time, she was pregnant with our first daughter, and, you know, I was like, well, he's in jail, he's going to get mad at me, you know. But I know he can't hurt me because he's in jail, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to think, you know.
He didn't know he was going to be a grandpa?
No. I had to build up the courage to tell him.
And how did he react?
Well, he was kind of mad at first, but then he loves his he's got 3 granddaughters now.
All 3 years?
Yes.
Okay. And so do you ever recall him in a state of drunkenness or being stoned?
Yes.
And
he met a girlfriend when I was about 12 years old, and all they would do is they would drink constantly. They would get drunk together, and they would throw fights, and the police would show up. You know, the police would show up. We went to fireworks one time, and the cop said he counted on a calendar year, and he said he was there more than like 30 times, I think it was.
In a whole year.
In a whole year.
That's almost once a week.
Yeah. How has...
Oh, it's 67 times? I guess it's 67.
How has what your father put you through made you a better husband, a better father, and a better man?
Well, I'm really not sure how to answer that.
Okay. So what can you tell me that you learned from growing up with him?
I learned not to try and provide for your family the best you can and not make the same mistakes that your parents made.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
You could learn a lot because, you know, like when he had his stroke, I remember I got the phone call from my grandma. She goes, we've been trying to call you all day. And she's like, your dad had a brain bleed. And I'm thinking, oh, he's going to die. You know?
And how'd that make you feel?
I was in tears after I got off the phone with her.
Sure.
And hitting the side of my trailer because I was mad at him. Because he wasn't taking his blood pressure pills. And, like, we had dinner at Grandma's house, like, a week before it, and I could tell something was up. He wasn't acting right.
Yeah.
And then come to find out he had the stroke. So I think after he had his stroke, it was a real wake-up call for him.
When we come back, Tim's going to tell us what that wake-up call was and what his life is like now after getting help from not only Powell CDC, but a power greater than his own. We're coming back live here on 99.3 KTIA, powered by webcast1live.com.
who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
All right, we're back 10 before the top. Salem Radio Network News, and then Pastor Michael Mudloff. Justin, you did a great job. Thanks for sharing. And Tim, what did you learn from listening to your son Justin talk about his experience growing up with you?
I thought he was pretty easy on me, actually.
He could have been harder?
Yes, he could have.
Maybe, Lila, we need to have Justin come back by himself sometime. So what's your life like now?
My life is awesome.
Oh, wait, well, hold on. Spent most of your life in federal prison, drug addict, alcoholic, divorced twice, 2 kids, you have a stroke, and your life is what?
Awesome.
Tell me what's awesome about your life.
Because as before I was walking in the darkness, and that day at the probation office, I almost died and went to hell. My soul was not in a state of grace at that time, and if I would have died that day, I would have been down in hell. Yep. I've been given a second chance at redemption, and for that I'm very grateful.
And what happened to you that made you realize that?
It's been a slow process. It wasn't a bolt of lightning moment for me and a God of my understanding. But
so it was a crock pot, not a microwave.
Yeah, I was just praying for guidance, and then pretty soon God was working in my lives, working ways in my life I don't even know where to start at. There's so many miracles that are happening to me. You know, I've been, now that I have a God of my understanding, which I now believe is Jesus Christ, and I believe I'm forgiven for my sins, and I have a chance at redemption today, and I walk in the sunlight of the Spirit, and that's the best part, you know.
You said a minute ago that you believe that you've been forgiven for your sins. Tim, you have. Okay? You said, I believe I've been, what was the term you used, redeemed? Tim, you have. Okay? So it's a fact. Jack. That's what the blood of Jesus from the cross does for us. And for those of you listening that don't know that, I'm sorry to pour this on you. Powell CDC is not a religious-based organization. It is a incredible healthcare facility. But the bottom line is, this is how Jesus reaches us sometimes. In the worst of our moments, in the depth of our life, when we think absolutely nothing can get better, he comes in and he pulls us out of, as you say, the darkness, and we forevermore walk in the sunshine of life. And that's what's happening to you. So how are you giving back?
I I share a 12-step meeting on Saturday nights. I talk to new people. I share my experience, strength, and hope with each other. I believe I've got a message to talk to people. You know, there's another way of living, and that brings you peace and tranquility, and just makes you happier.
Now, do you go to church?
Yes, I do.
You go to Hope?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And what was your religious experience prior to December 27th? Did you believe in God?
Yes, I believed in God. The day of my stroke, I firmly believe that God struck me down for all the bad that I've done during my life. I could not sit there and say, "Why me, God? Why me, God?" I had to see why not me. But actually, that's not God. My God, to my understanding now, is not a vengeful God.
Right.
He's a very loving, forgiving God.
Right.
And once He enters your heart, your whole outlook upon life will change. You know, your whole life changes. And I'm not the same person I used to be. I've been reborn
and forgiven.
Yeah, and forgiven. And I've had a big fear of people, so going to Hope was a major challenge to me. I do go to 7:45 Mass on Sundays. There's a little bit less traffic. I still have a hard time traversing through the crowd.
Yeah.
And I use a walking stick to get around it with because I'm still partially paralyzed on my left side.
But you can drive?
I can drive.
Okay. So you go to 7:45 in the morning. I know you're involved in several 12-step meetings. If someone out there wants to know the most important thing, the most important lesson that you've learned, what is it?
Just believe that there's a chance of there being a God. Just have that little bit of a belief that there could be something out there, and pray for guidance. You know, my first prayers weren't to Jesus. My first prayers were to God, and I said, "What to believe?" You know, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
Guide me, and He'll guide you.
Yeah,
all you have to do is ask. You know, and pretty soon the miracles will happen in your life, and you won't be able to explain it all to people.
You've said the miracles will happen in your life. Give me a couple examples of the miracles you've witnessed, you've been a part of.
Well, I did. I told my kid when I got after my stroke that I was real sorry for what I did when I was growing up. I just got done doing a 4-step, in an inventory of my actions. I went to step 9 to apologize for my bad behavior, but I wasn't ready for it yet. He looked at me. This is my youngest son, and he just, "Thanks for making my life a living hell." But now, and I was still in a wheelchair at that time. I was expecting a little bit of empathy from him, but I didn't get it. But now our relationship is on the mend. It's just a healing process. It's not an overnight thing, but day by day things get better. Relationships get stronger. Even my BFF says I'm a much nicer person now than
You're who?
My BFF.
I don't know what a BFF is.
Best friend forever.
Oh, you're so out of it, man.
Her name's Renee. If she's listening, I love you.
Is that girlfriend, you mean?
No, it's all over. Facebook, it's everywhere. Facebook, everyone uses that.
Well, is that significant other, though? Is that?
No, it's just your best friend.
My best friend. She's the one girl that's been supportive of me. She does all my paperwork, like we have a joint checking account, and I sign. Anyways, she takes the checks and gets all my bills get paid and things like that, and takes care of all my insurance papers and things like that. She's one of my angels.
Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty stupid right now. I've seen BFF before, but I didn't know what it. Did you know what it meant, Smiley?
No.
Okay, see, so the old guys didn't. Ryan, did you know what it was? You did? Okay. So who's your BFF, Lila?
My husband, I guess.
Okay, never mind. Who's your BFF?
I really haven't thought about it.
You haven't thought about it? All right. Tim, God bless you.
Thank you.
Almost chokes me up. Somebody out there heard this, and you made a difference in their lives. And with the internet the way it is and how we've set this show up, there will be thousands of people within the course of probably 45 to 60 days that will hear this. And know that God is using you to make a difference in people's lives. And that's really what it's all about, isn't it?
That's the main thing. I want other people not to see my actions. I want them to see Christ at work in changing my life, because I am not this. I can't do it on my own power.
Right.
It's totally God working through me to do His work. And as long as whatever I do, I got to do it for His glory and greatness.
Justin, thanks for coming. You did a good job. I appreciate it. You're welcome to come back anytime. Meanwhile, I'll see you tomorrow with Tom Coates here in Mac's World, and next Monday for Recovery Monday. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. Love this job. Couldn't do it without you. Right here on 99.3 KTIA Iowa, powered by Webcast One Live.